Hello everybody, welcome to another Chameleons video. Today I will be doing the long-awaited sequel to my video all about asexuality. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not recording in my usual studio. The audio will sound different, that's because I'm actually recording this while I go out for a walk, because why not? Yeah, well let's get into it. So, unlike the asexuality video, this one's going to have a bit of a preamble, because most people understand sexuality, but not a lot of people understand gender. It's very complex. So we'll start off with covering what gender is. Gender is a socially constructed sense of self that most people have, and by socially constructed it means that it is basically created by society, or at least interpreted by our society. We don't really know where it comes from, but different beliefs systems would have different beliefs about it. My personal belief is that gender is an inherent biological part of us that is simply shaped by the way that we're raised in different cultures that we exist in. I obviously am going to view this through the lens of the Western gender binary of man and woman. And now that we've got that out of the way, we'll talk about what non-binary actually is. Well, non-binary is it's a umbrella of gender identities, and it's basically any gender identity that isn't purely one of the two in the Western gender binary. As I said, men, woman. What most people would think of when they think of non-binary is the third gender, non-binary, which is a version of it, but it's not the only version of it. There are many different identities under the non-binary umbrella. There's gender fluid, where your gender changes over time. There's things like agender, which is lack of gender. There's demigender, which is where you identify mostly with one gender but partly with another. And if you want to hear more about these different gender identities, I'm happy to do separate videos about them. But I will also say most non-binary identities fall under the trans umbrella, the transgender umbrella, but not all non-binary people will use the label trans. Some of them will think of themselves, especially demigender people, think of themselves as partially trans. That's really what non-binary really is. But I also will talk about my own experience, because in case you haven't guessed, like with the asexuality video, I identify under the non-binary umbrella. My gender's identity quite complex, because I identify as gender fluid and gender flux, but also non-binary. And by that I mean, well, my baseline gender is non-binary, but it will often change. It will change within a certain parameter. Like I still always am non-binary. I still always feel non-binary. I never feel fully like a man or fully like a woman, but I'll feel much more feminine, or much more. And I'm gender flux in that the levels of having gender will change. Like sometimes I'll feel my gender really strongly, but a lot of the time I'll barely feel it. Like often I can't. Sometimes I can't identify what I feel because it's just so low levels of it. and I also will use the terms transgender and transfeminine because I identify more with being feminine, not fully as a woman, and I present more femininely. Or if you've enjoyed this video, if you want more videos about queer stuff, including more about my own experiences being asexual and non-binary, then leave a like and watch this video. And I hope you've learnt a lot from this, and if you're just a transphobe who wants to be transphobic in the comments, fuck off.